You think you're getting stronger doing exercises like this? What if I told you that the way most people exercise is actually destroying their bodies instead of building them up? I've spent the last decade as a longevity fitness coach, and I'm about to show you why proper form isn't just some gym bro obsession. It's the difference between building a body that thrives for decades versus one that breaks down by 40. In this video, I'm going to completely change how you think about exercise form. You'll learn why momentum is secretly your worst enemy, the shocking truth about what's really happening in your joints when you use improper form, 5 technique fixes that will instantly improve your results, and why the strongest people in the world are actually form fanatics. Everyone thinks more weight equals more results, but that's the biggest misconception in fitness. I'll show you exactly why this mentality is sabotaging your progress, causing injuries, and preventing the body transformation you're working so hard for. Let me take you through the exact step-by-step approach that's helped hundreds of my clients build stronger, healthier bodies that last a lifetime, not just look good for summer. Although summer bods are nice, I'm not hating, but let's get into it. The hidden damage of momentum-based training. Let me start with something that blew my mind when I first learned about it as a coach. You know how satisfying it feels swinging weights around? That sensation of moving heavy weight quickly makes you feel powerful, right? Like those kipping pull-ups, swinging bicep curls, or bouncing bench presses. Here's the brutal truth. That momentum is straight up robbing you of results. A 2019 study in the Journal of Strength and Conditioning Research found that controlled tempo training produced 26% more muscle activation than momentum-based training with the same weights. That's 1/4 more results from the same weights just by removing momentum. Here's what to do instead. Focus on a controlled eccentric or lowering phase of 2 to 3 seconds. This is where 60% of the muscle damaging growth stimulus occurs, according to research from McMaster University. Quick story. I had a client named Mark who came to me after years of impressive looking workouts where he threw heavy weights around. Despite looking strong in the gym, he had chronic shoulder pain and his physique hadn't changed in years. We cut his weights in half, but removed all the momentum. Within 8 weeks, his shoulder pain disappeared and he gained more muscle than the previous year of training. The momentum mistake is like trying to fill a bucket with water while someone's drilling holes in the bottom. No matter how much water you pour in, you'll never get the results you want. But that's not even the most shocking form mistake I see. The alignment principle, your body's hidden performance multiplier. This is the game changer that transformed my own training and that of my most successful clients. Most people think proper form is just about avoiding injury. That's just scratching the surface. The truth, your body is an integrated system where alignment literally multiplies force production and results. When your joints are properly aligned, force transfers efficiently through your skeletal system. But with poor alignment, you're essentially trying to push a car with the emergency brake on, which, if you didn't know, is pretty damn hard. Let me show you what I mean. You see that? When your joints are stacked properly, you're creating what biomechanists call force coupling, where muscles work synergistically rather than fighting each other. A fascinating study from the University of Southern California showed that proper joint alignment increased force production by up to 31% compared to misaligned positions. That's getting nearly 1/3 more results from the same effort. Think of your skeletal system like a power line. When everything's properly connected, electricity flows smoothly. But when one misalignment creates resistance, heating things up and wasting energy before it reaches its destination. Here's what to check in your next workout. Is your spine neutral during loaded movements? Are your knees tracking in line with your toes? Are your shoulders down and back rather than hunched forward? But if alignment is so important, why aren't more people focusing on it? That brings me to the most controversial point: the range of motion revolution. Why half reps are half results. You're being lied to about what constitutes a real repetition, or you're lying to yourself if you ego lift. That's not me being dramatic, even though I'm such a drama queen. That's science. One of the biggest training myths is that partial range of motion builds more muscle because it keeps tension on the muscle. The research tells a completely different story. A landmark study in the European Journal of Applied Physiology found that full range of motion training led to 60% greater muscle growth compared to partial reps over a 12-week period. 60%. When you cut range of motion short, you're essentially putting your joints and muscles on vacation for half the exercise, and they don't grow on vacation. It simply doesn't work that way. Here is the practical application. For every exercise, identify what true full range looks like. Start with lighter weights that allow complete range of motion, and feel the difference between muscle fatigue and joint strain. I remember when I first implemented this with Jason, a former college athlete who came to me frustrated with nagging injuries and diminishing returns. He was benching 275 pounds for what he called reps, but he could barely control 185 through full range of motion. After 3 months of focusing on complete range training with appropriate loads, not only did his true bench exceed his former partial rep max, but his shoulder pain vanished and his chest development exploded. But here's where things get even more interesting: the mind-muscle connection, the neural secret to doubling your results. The difference between moving weight and building muscle often comes down to something you can't see in the mirror: your nervous system. Most people think exercise is purely physical, but the research shows it's as much of a neurological game as it is muscular. A groundbreaking study from the Journal of Neurophysiology found that subjects who focused intensely on the specific muscle being worked showed up to 22% higher muscle activation than those who just focused on moving the weight. Your brain literally determines which muscle fibers get recruited during an exercise. Without proper mental focus, you're letting your dominant muscle groups hijack the movement, leaving your target muscles understimulated. So stop just going through the motions when you exercise. Think through the motions too. Here's how to implement this immediately. Before each set, take 5 seconds to mentally rehearse the movement. During each rep, focus intensely on the target muscle contracting and stretching. Use controlled tempos that allow you to maintain this focus. The mind-muscle connection is like having a spotlight. You can either shine it broadly and dimly across your entire body or focus intensely exactly where you want to see change. But there's one more critical form element that almost everyone misses: breathing mechanics, the overlooked power multiplier. This might sound basic, but improper breathing might be the single biggest killer of your training results. Most people either hold their breath completely or breathe chaotically during exercise. Both approaches not only limit your performance, but can be dangerous. Research from the University of Melbourne found that proper breathing techniques increased core stability by up to 40% during compound movements. That's not just safer, it's a massive performance boost. Proper breathing isn't just about oxygen. It's about creating internal pressure that stabilizes your spine and enhances force production. Think of your torso like a soda can. A full sealed can is nearly impossible to crush. An open can or empty can crumples easily. Proper breathing creates that sealed can effect in your torso during critical moments of exercise. Here is the practical approach. For heavy lifting, use the Valsalva maneuver, taking a deep breath into your belly before the hard part of the lift, then exhale after passing the sticking point. For higher rep work, coordinate breathing with effort. Exhale during exertion and inhale during the easier phase. Breathing properly during exercise is like having a built-in weight belt and a spotter combined. It protects you while simultaneously boosting your strength. And that sounds like a win-win to me. Okay, Let's bring this all together. We've covered why proper form isn't just some fitness purist obsession. It's the fundamental difference between results and frustration, between longevity and injury. Remember, momentum is stealing your gains, joint alignment multiplies your results, full range of motion increases growth by up to 60%, the mind muscle connection can boost activation by 22%, and proper breathing mechanics can instantly increase your strength. That nagging pain you feel isn't normal, that plateau you've hit isn't necessary, and that injury waiting to happen isn't inevitable. Proper form isn't just about safety, it's about efficiency. It's about getting maximum results from minimum wear and tear on your body. I've spent years helping people transform their body by mastering these principles, and I've seen them work time and again. If this video helped you rethink your approach to exercise, hit that subscribe button right now. You'd really be helping the channel out, and I promise I will do my best to share helpful information each and every week. If you don't, I'll probably still post, but I would be a little sad about it. So remember, anyone can move weight from point A to point B, but building a strong, resilient body that improves with age, that requires mastery. Train smarter, not just harder, and I'll see you in the next video.